The time is now 8:40. Some of the top colleges in the country are finding new ways to screen high school students before they are accepted, not based on more test scores or grades or even extracurriculars, but instead on how civil they are. NBC's Rahima Ellis takes a closer look.
Students returning to college campuses after years of turmoil.
And protests have fueled hate speech.
With some elite schools in President Trump's crosshairs.
They want to show how smart they are, and they're getting their ass kicked.
Students are not getting along, faculty's not getting along.
And in this environment, schools are looking to adapt, meaning students may face a new challenge before even getting in.
One of the ways that colleges are trying to address this is to start screening for it a little bit in the admissions process.
Those applying to some top colleges this fall could see some new questions. Last year, Harvard added a prompt following some Ivy League competitors. Tell us about a moment when you engaged in a difficult conversation or encountered someone with an opinion or perspective that was different from your own. And now students can opt to submit a new so-called portfolio when applying to at least 6 other colleges, measuring qualities related to civility.
I think the universities, yes, they are interested in students having that practice, having built that muscle.
That's Sal Khan, who created Khan Academy, the massive tutoring nonprofit. Now he has a new pilot program called Dialogues, hosted on the peer tutoring platform schoolhouse.world, where students can disagree with each other and learn from it, logging hours they've spent in discussions over Zoom where they debate each other on hot topics, from gun control to immigration and the Israel-Palestine conflict.
It's so easy for us to get stuck on social media or sometimes see things on TV where people are yelling at each other. We're all in our own bubbles. But to see young people actually model how the rest of us should be. That's what gave us confidence to make this a broader program.
Afterwards, students receive reviews from their peers, rating them based on their virtues like how curious or even how kind they were in a session. Then a portfolio of reviews can be submitted to schools for consideration, although it's not clear how much weight they have in admissions. We reached out to the 6 schools Khan lists as partners and were not granted interviews.
I saw that this was another application component, and I thought, this might be another way to just show who I am.
John Sargent is a high school senior from Illinois. He's hoping to attend the University of Chicago next year, one of the schools considering these portfolios.
I love discourse. I love debate. If that's a way to strengthen the application for that school, most certainly.
The idea for Dialogues initially coming together because of Khan's conversations with University of Chicago's Dean of Admissions, Jim Nondorf, who told Ed Week he wants to accept students that, quote, add to the conversation on campus, but do it in the right way. Critics argue new platforms like this are just another way for the affluent to game the system. The New York Times running a guest essay from a sophomore at Harvard titled, Elite Colleges Have Found a New Virtue for Applicants to Fake. After that published, Vanderbilt and MIT, which once signed on to accept civility portfolios, reversing that decision. Vanderbilt saying in part it ended the pilot after careful consideration and hearing some concerns. MIT did not explain its decision to NBC News, but said it's committed to developing in our students a capacity to listen openly and disagree respectfully.
It is actually very hard to fake authenticity.
Responding to critics, Khan says submitting the optional portfolios is like disclosing volunteer hours and that other parts of applications can be unfair.
A lot of affluent kids can hire coaches. I'm a big fan of things where it's just you and a couple of other folks, and you're forming a real human connection.
But that human connection not always an aspect of some new AI tools, also meant to improve civil discourse. One professor at Carnegie Mellon created Sway, a free AI-based chat platform that moderates students' discussions, interjecting if things get too hot. In the past, many college prep experts advise students to avoid hot-button topics, but now some changing their tune.
When you make an investment to be purposeful about your growth and to cultivate these qualities that, again, we can all agree are positive qualities, it kind of works out.
If it's even possible to measure civility and whether colleges trying can heal a fractured society, still very much up for debate.
Rahima Ellis reporting for us there. Keep it right here. We're back in 2 minutes on WCNC+.